It is 7 o'clock, wherever y'all at. It's Dope Living TV Live. It's Greg. We start out by saying the views that are expressed on this Dope Living TV Live are not necessarily the views of Dope Living TV. It's just all of ours. What's up, y'all? How was your day? Hope everybody's day was cool. So today we're still inspiring, still encouraging, still engaging on the show today. We're going to bring you more success stories of entrepreneurs. Went from struggle to securing their place in the entrepreneurial lifestyle. So I want you guys to at least try to get something. Those people that are trying to be entrepreneurs, get something out of this, all right? You know, what we do may not work for everybody, the way that we've done what we've done. But the thing is, as a progression, you have to continuously go. You got to continuously try. You got to continuously try to live your dreams. If you don't live them and you stop, you never know. You never know what could have happened. All right. Coming to the show, I got Queen G. What's going on, B?
What's going on? How you doing, Greg?
Oh, I'm chilling. You already. So it's good to have you back. You know,
thank you.
Queen G was on with us a few days ago. Very inspiring. She got a lot of stuff going on, and we want to hear your story. Definitely want to hear your story. Let's welcome Gina to the show.
Hi. How you doing, Queen G?
Hey, Gina.
Hey, Nick.
What's going on?
You got it.
It's another day in Dope Living land.
That's right.
Already know. So again, today, as we did yesterday, and as we're going to do all week, except for Thursday, we're going to take a break on Thanksgiving, so everybody can, number one, be thankful for everything that we got, and number two, enjoy family and friends or whomever you can be with. So, we're gonna hook it up like that. So, Gina, like I said, we're going to be talking this week about entrepreneurship. And how good it is to get through the journey to where we are, where we've gotten to. But we also want to let people know the struggle too. What's going on, Nicole? Our brother Carl Ramsey. You can share your story as well, Carl. I know you're doing some big things out there as well. So let's all support and talk to one another, listen to the stories. But Queen G, first of all, again, thank you for gracing us with your presence. We love you. Queen G.
Yeah. This subject was like, yes, sir.
So let's get it in. Hey, so I know that you've written a lot of books, especially this month. You just published a bunch of them. But it wasn't always pen to paper all the time, okay, just flowing like that, was it?
No, not at all. This year, actually, I wrote 11 total books this whole year, from November to now, which is November, 12 months. During a 12-month period, I've written 11 books, 5 children's books, and 6 autobiographies, or a part of a series, I would call it. It has not always been that simple. The flow of words have not always come to me like that. But due to the fact of the pandemic, the coronavirus, we were kind of in a catch-22 this year, with having to kind of sit back a little more. I'm a full-time entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
I was one before I became an author, working in the lane of media. I am a celebrity interviewer, and I also interview people that are inspiring, people that, make something happen every single day of their lives. Absolutely. Are day-to-day heroes, put it like that. Yeah. And I also am a red carpet host. I'm a red carpet host. That's the work I do. I'm out there commentating and hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl Queen G. I'm on location here at such and such. That's me. I'm always setting that mood and getting that energy going. And I was pretty known out in Las Vegas for the work that I did, like, hosting a lot of carpets and just getting out there and doing it. I also worked in radio. I also have been a talk show host and done things like that. But this year, I became an author for the first time. So
okay, so let me
it's completely different.
Okay, before you get there, let me ask you this though. So, as you're wearing these many hats, and I'm proud to see a sister out there doing her thing. Okay, but as you're wearing these many hats, all right. I know it had to have been some bumps along the way as you were trying to get to where you are right now. Can you kind of share some of that with us?
Let me take you back 2 years ago. This is very interesting that you would ask that. 2 years ago, I was. Hi, Tanya.
Hi.
Tanya Alexander, welcome Tanya to the show.
It's Tanya, actually.
Okay.
Oh, Tanya. Okay, Tanya. Sorry.
We're gonna skip that A a little bit. Okay, so let's welcome Tanya to the show.
I'm gonna move myself closer to some light because I'm a little dark.
But 2 years ago, I'm very spiritual. I got kind of this inkling or an alert that I needed to be home ASAP. It was kind of like one of those spiritual things. I believe I got that word from God. Mm-hmm. I was in Los Angeles and I lived in Las Vegas. So I had a 4-hour trip to take. But when I hear that kind of alert, I get up and I do what I believe God is telling me to do. So I had worked all weekend, was drained, tired, really, really exhausted. And I heard this voice say, go home. So I went home, trying to keep myself awake on the road trip, drinking Coca-Cola, listening to loud music, and just doing all that I could to stay awake. I get home that day and I'm doing my regular routine of getting, dinner on the table, and my kids were excited to see me, all that stuff from the weekend of being gone and working. And it was like dead of summer in Las Vegas, May of 2018. Okay. So it was hot. It was hot. It was blazing hot. 100 and something already at 10 in the morning. My husband goes outside to smoke a cigarette and he comes back in, and I noticed that he kind of lost extremities of his body. It wasn't just like, let me sit down. He kind of plopped down.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, what's going on? Like, this is not normal. You know what I mean? And he started to try to talk to me, but it sounded like as if he was, had been to the dentist. So his words were slurred and stuff like that. And I had never seen one, but I knew that somehow he may be having a stroke. Okay. Now you got to understand, my husband's only 36 at that point, 36 years of age. And what I thought was a normal day had now turned into a serious emergency. So we went right into, let me call 911, keeping the kids out. It was just absolutely not a typical day for us. When the ambulance got there, paramedics got there, they definitely confirmed that he had a stroke. His whole face was beginning to turn, the whole nine. 36 years old, having a stroke. It turned our lives around. So I'm a full-time entrepreneur. He was the breadwinner, if you know what I mean. The blue-collar, work your job guy that kind of, kept us afloat and kept most of the bills paid, because entrepreneurial work comes in its own little flow at different times based on the job that you did and based on when it funds. Sometimes you could do a job and it funds months later or weeks later or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So mine, it was enough, but not like that, not to hold us all the way down. It still took 2 combined incomes. Anyway, based on his stroke, right after that, during his recovery, he lost his job. And we began to go through a crisis of finances, and we started having some trouble. And as soon as that happened, we lost everything. This was just in 2018.
So was this? Let me ask you this. So was the drive there before your husband had the stroke? Was that drive for you to do this there before, or was it?
Oh yeah.
Because of a necessity.
Oh yeah, I've been Oh, go ahead.
No, I said, or is it because of a necessity that you just had to make something happen?
I was already as a full-time entrepreneur. I'm also a hairdresser. I do braids for a living. Okay, so that weekend when I was away, I was braiding hair, and so I had like 5 clients that weekend. It was a good weekend. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I was already driven. I've been driven since the time I was like 13 years of age, and I've always been and drawn toward entrepreneurial jobs. Every time I tried to get a regular job at a restaurant or do these little odds and ends clothing store, whatever, it just never lasted.
Okay, now I'm gonna pause you right there, because we got this newbie over here, Tanya Alexander. So we want to hear from her. And hope everybody saw that comment. Dinah Lynn Biggs radio station owner, Biggs Radio. She says there's nothing like ownership. Y'all check out Biggs Radio when you chance. Tanya, I'm sorry.
Tanya, yes. How are you guys?
I'm great, man. So tell us about yourself.
Well, she had mentioned Los Angeles. That's where I am. I live in Los Angeles. I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri. And I graduated from St. Louis U with a degree in theater and moved to New York City and worked in theater off-Broadway, did a lot of touring around the world in dance and things of that nature, and musical theater, and did some television out there. And then I lived there for 7 years and moved to Los Angeles, and ever since I've been out here as a professional actor, performer, poet, and I produce a lot of things, but I also am always on either in somebody's indie film, somebody's stage, somebody's commercial. I do a lot of voiceovers and things like that. So I just work in the business in a number of different areas in terms of show business and entertainment. And that's what I pretty much do.
And so was that journey, because what we're trying to do this week is to inspire people. A lot of us have unconventional jobs.
Yeah.
They're unconventional. Everybody's not trying to be an actress, or I've been on TV for a long time, or writers. Everybody's not trying to do that. When people ask, and I think I said this one of the previous shows, when people ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? Doctor, lawyer, fireman, policeman. How many people say now? A lot of people say rapper, but basketball players and this and that. Okay, but I'll put those in the category with the normal aspirations that people want to do. So what made you want to do this?
When I was a kid, my parents would let me stay up when I was, as young as 8 years old and watch the Tonight Show. Which came on after the news went off. But they would let me stay up and watch it, and I just gained this curiosity for performers and actors and stuff like that, because I would, watch Johnny Carson as a little kid and just want to be on that show. And then I remember watching Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous and seeing all these places and thinking that I could go there and that life was bigger than my little home in St. Louis. And I just always wanted to travel and see the world, and I would watch a lot of television, and I would make up stories with my dolls, and I wrote a book when I was 12, so storytelling and things of that nature always were in me, and I was always very interested in just performers and performances, and loved that sort of thing, and watched a lot of TV and watched a lot of musicals and things like that, and thought, I can do that. And then I saw Michael Jackson's Thriller and said, that's it. Saw him dancing, and that I was done then. I was like, and it's interesting, a lot of the performers that I know who are my age, even younger, Michael Jackson was the turning point for them to actually pursue
I know, right?
career. Just growing up with him and seeing him as such a prolific performer. And then, of course, Prince and Madonna and Janet and all of them, it just grabbed me. And I just wanted to do that. I wanted to be one of those people who were on a stage or on TV performing. So I studied dance extensively. I studied languages. I studied dialects. I studied acting, poetry, mime, anything in the performing arts. I just gravitated to it. I studied piano, which you see in the background. Everything I could study, and was writing poetry and all that. So it was just an inspiration. Honestly, started by Michael Jackson's Thriller, sitting and watching that video, and it just blew up into this actual career, and being a professional working actor for the last 2 decades.
And you know what? I actually, now that I'm looking at you, I have seen you somewhere.
I get that all the time. So people say, I've seen you. Yeah, it's interesting. There's a couple of shows that I've been on that have been running for a long time. Law and Order, SVU. There's some
that's probably it.
Shield, a couple of I've been on a number of shows, and it's funny because people always talk about my voice. They don't even realize that they've heard me on Pandora, they've heard me on Spotify, they've heard me on, because I do a lot of voiceovers and commercials and things. So even with the.
Let me ask you this. I was because I've done a few voiceovers myself, and I use the platform voices.com. All right.
Okay.
Have you ever tried Voices?
I do have a profile on voices.com. I don't do a lot of submissions on voices.com. I have a voiceover agent who sends me a lot of stuff. So.
Well, see, I didn't know anything about the agents at the time I was doing it. So I did one for this Mountain Boat company, I think, a long time ago, and then for a drink a long time ago. They were real corny, real corny. But
but you know what's interesting about what Tanya said? I had ambitions to act. You know, I had a great teacher in high school. I acted. I was in drama Alto High School. Remember Mr. Boswell?
Mr.
Boswell. He inspired me. But the difference in Tanya's story and mine, it sounds like it's a difference when you have an aspiration to do something and it's just something you want to do. If it's just something you want to do, the least thing can turn you in a different direction. Mm-hmm. And so I used to beg my mom to send me to New York to what is it, Juilliard? Yes, Juilliard School of Arts. And I would tell her, I want to be an actress. I want to be an actress. And she would always say, you know, you should have something to fall back on. You should have something else that you want to do because it's a really hard field to get in. And so I said, I'll just go to school for marketing then. Whereas with Tanya, she didn't let anything change the fact that she wanted to be in that industry, and she kept pushing. I didn't keep pushing. So when you have that aspiration, you know it's an aspiration because no matter what happens and no matter how many walls you hit, you get up and you keep going.
Right.
That's true.
Well, the other thing is this, and I tell young actors and performers this all the time, and I've had this conversation at the dinner table with my parents about this idea that being an entertainer is somehow harder or more difficult than any other career. And the reality is that, or more unstable or something. So, or doesn't take as much intelligence, because I was a brainiac in high school. I was valedictorian in my class and summa cum laude and Phi Beta Kappa from college. And everybody was like, be a lawyer, be a doctor. And I'm like, what do you think? A person in entertainment doesn't need a brain? They don't need intelligence? I'm like, you're running your own business. That business just happens to be in the arts. And there's no real stability in these other, fields. I mean, with the exception of maybe being a nurse or something to that effect. Now tech is pretty stable. But other than that, I mean, plenty of people who worked their whole lives have lost jobs, particularly in automation and things of that nature. So I always say to them, in what way what really is stability. So the other thing is if when you're following something that you genuinely have a love for, that you genuinely want to be in, you make things happen to sustain yourself.
Absolutely.
Right. I want to
think
comment on that.
Yeah, and a lot of people do themselves a disservice with these kind of fallback things. You find out the people that are the
I was going to say that that's so true.
Yeah, the people who are most successful in the business went all in. That's what you give. You give all of your energy and time and attention to that. And Nicole, yes, Nicole, I have been on Law and Order.
I was doing something else, but she posted this before you said that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So that's my fault for not posting it in real time. All right.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, and I just wanted to just make sure people understand that it's really about your own tenacity in the field. That's what's going to lead to your success. It's not
so true.
And the reality is most people who are telling you to fall back on something aren't in that business.
Right.
Who are in that business, who are entertainers, will tell you real things that you can use to succeed. They won't tell you, you should be a doctor. No actor ever says to a person who wants to act, go be a doctor. We never do that. We always say, okay, you want to act? These are the tools you need. This is what you need to do, or this is my suggestion to be successful in it. We never discourage other artists from doing or being an artist. So you find that in people who are not in the industry, they do that a lot.
Absolutely. So Queen G,
get a lot of doubt. Yeah, I wanted to comment, guys, and then I gotta go because I have another gig right behind this. But thank you so much for bringing that point up, Tanya, because that's so true. I get a lot of hesitation from people that's close to me, family. Like, what are you doing? You're doing this, type of job. Like, what is that going to get you, and where is that going to take you? Or this and that. But you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. Being an author, it takes so much discipline. I get up every day at 4 a.m., put in a couple of hours before my kids go to school. I get them off to school, and then I come back and I'm doing meetings. I have things, emails that I have to send out. I'm constantly posting on social media because I'm in the media lane. I'm constantly reaching out to people, setting up meetings, booking them for my show and podcast. It's a grind. So when people look at you and they look down upon you, you know what I mean, for the type of job you chose because it doesn't seem to be legitimate, I feel really sorry for them because in my world, it's very active and very productive. And it takes a lot of discipline to do what I have to do, a lot of discipline to get your name out there and to push your brand and to push your business.
Yeah, and I think
all of that is action. And it's also competitive. You got to stay within that competitive market too, of marketing and branding and all that stuff. So,
well, I also think that it's really, and like you said, it's unfortunate because these are people's very limited beliefs. They have a very limited viewpoint on what's possible. And a lot of that is just upbringing or what they've been exposed to. And I go back to Lifestyles of Rich and Famous. I love that show. And to me, it was like anything's possible. One of the biggest reasons I loved it is because of the lifestyles people had. And I'm like, this is a reality for other people. Why couldn't it be a reality for me? Or why couldn't I experience that island or that country or that? And I've traveled all over the world. And so I think it's really just a personal viewpoint of either limitation or possibility. And so if you're a person who believes in possibility, then you don't have these limited ideas of what you can do to be a professional, what you can do to support yourself or your family. You know that
and outright misunderstanding the role itself or what it is. They don't really understand the shoes that you sit in. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's just
Absolutely. Hey, Queen
It's
G,
ignorance, really.
You're
But
breaking
guys,
up.
thank you for having me. I have to get Greg, Gina,
Thank
Tanya.
you, Queen.
Hey, thank you for sharing,
Oh,
Queen
I'm
G.
sorry.
No, they're cool. Cool. Thank you for sharing your story. We appreciate you.
I think she's stuck.
She froze up. You're doing a robot up in this joint, man. Okay. Hey, everybody, welcome Dinah Lynn Biggs to the program.
Hey.
Hi,
Hello.
Hi,
Hey, Dinah
ladies.
Lynn, she's a radio personality, and she has she's a woman who owns her own internet radio station. So, Dinah Lynn, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I've been sitting in the cut listening to these ladies and their journey. And, I tell people the struggle to entrepreneurship is real.
They are real.
It's real. It's as real as the people you have around you. It's as real as the people in the industry. So you have to find your own way in being a entrepreneur. A lot of people can do the jobs better than their bosses. They just don't know how to go about being the boss.
Yeah.
It's not an easy journey either when you're trying to pick and scratch your way through the journey of entrepreneurship. It's not an easy journey. And I know from firsthand, I know some of the struggles that you've had. Okay, can you share some of the struggles that you've had?
Well, the number one struggle in the music industry is being a woman and being Black. I mean, that may sound cliche, but, I started out as a woman DJ carrying crates. So you know what the guys thought about me. At one time, I was the only female DJ out in the streets. And as I worked in radio over the 40 years, I finally got to the point a few years ago that I can run my own station. It just hit me one day that I could do what I've been doing for somebody else. And then, of course, there was nobody there to help me. But I took initiative, and I gotta say, Greg Gray managed me for many years. And he always told me, read about what you're doing. Read about the licenses that you can have, the things that you need to know. And then, like, overnight, I applied for all the licenses and I got them. And then I got scared. I'm like, uh-oh, what's happening? I'm getting ready to own some stuff, and my name is going to be on it. So I was even more inspired. And then the love comes in. Then the haterism comes in and the jealousy and all of that. But that's when you get tunnel vision. Because as you see that baby grow from one listener, or you write one book, or you in one movie, then you get inspired. Like, oh, I got this. But the people around you have to support your dream, or they can't be in it. They can't be in your dream if they can't support you. They can't. They just can't. I'm talking about mothers, fathers, sisters, and as soon as you make it to the top, or you on that movie Law and Order, or you writing those 6 books, then here they come. Oh, that's my sis. Oh, you don't want to be around the family no more. When all the time they was trying to make your dream be deferred. So the struggle is real for women and for men, and education is the key. You can do it. You just have to be patient and know that, if it's meant for you to do it, it'll happen. Doors will open.
And absolutely. That what Dinah Lynn said is so true what she's saying. And I think we all may have experienced, some naysayers or, people saying you can't do it. I've owned a few businesses throughout my years, and I always go back to when I opened my daycare. I had a daycare for 8 years, and it took me a year to open that daycare. I would go to the state of Indiana and they would tell me, well, you need to do this. I would do that. And I would go back and they said, well, you need to do this. And that went on for a whole year. But no matter what they told me to do, how high they told me to jump, I jumped even higher.
There you go. Yeah.
Because that was an aspiration of mine. I wanted to open a daycare. I wanted to have, to show parents that they could send their kids somewhere that's safe and where they are loved. And so that was an aspiration of mine. And no matter what they told me to do, I did it. I did that for a whole year, trying to get my license. The last straw, once I got to the last straw, what they told me to do, I just broke down and cried.
Yeah.
I broke down and cried. And my husband at the time, my late husband told me, he said, try it one more time. I tried it one more time and I got my license.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if it had not been an aspiration, I would have threw it to the wayside on you know what, this is not worth it, and did something else. But it was such an aspiration of mine. I kept pushing and I kept jumping those hurdles and I kept going. And I had that daycare for 8 years, very successful, and was happy. You know, I had someone in my corner to say, hey, just try it one more time.
You know, let's welcome Jocelyn Kelly to the show.
Hey, John.
Hi.
You already know what Jocelyn does outside of inspire everyone. She's a restaurateur. She's a spiritual guru. How about that? Spiritual guru.
And she's a collector of eyeglasses.
We're gonna get her eyeglass line rolling. We're gonna get that rolling for real. But, I gotta say this.
Dr. Leah was saying, and I have to say this. My dad is really a special person, and a lot of times my dad would not be the biggest what I thought was cheerleader, and I think that he wasn't in my corner, and he's the one who comes up and says, "But what if?" And I didn't count him out as a supporter, and I'm glad I didn't, because when the shit hit the wall, he would be one of the very first ones to die. And like you said, as things begin to evolve, that's my baby girl, and that's my daughter. And I totally appreciate on both sides, because what he did was, for me, was provide a balance. Is there an echo?
No, you're good.
Okay. What it did for me was to provide a balance, because I am totally that A personality, that I'm like a pit bull. Once I have an idea in my mind, I'm gonna push and push until it comes forth. And for him, even his what most would describe as negativity was my balance. You know what I'm saying? It created a level of expectation. Don't expect everything to be perfect. Know that the challenges are going to come up. Even now, challenge after challenge after challenge, and I'm grounded in what I see, the vision that has been gifted to me, and the haters, they fuel me. You know what I'm saying? And my job is to inspire them, because my haters, and I got this definition from being on here with Chris Mills and Greg and Dean and Gina. Those are the folks who don't have the tenacity. They don't have the ambition. They don't have the. They think about it, but they don't have the tenacity to go forward and do it. And so my job is to do it and inspire and encourage them, instead of you wasting your energy on critiquing what I'm doing. Now's the time for you to look at your dreams and your ambition and go to work. I'm proving to you.
Yeah.
Check this out. Nicole Montgomery says, "Hi, beautiful ladies. I love you guys' story. It's so uplifting for me. Thanks for sharing with me." All right. She's a long time listener, but I want to say too, man, I am sitting here. I need to change my picture and put it right in the middle. Four powerful women. You guys are. If nobody else is inspired, I'm inspired as a man. You know, and to see that you guys are doing what you do, struggles that and I know each struggle except for Tanya, but Gina can tell me that later. I know everybody's struggle, and to see you guys land where you're landing right now, it is very inspiring. And people, everybody that watches, you guys need to reach out to these women, if not just to get a story from them, a bit of wisdom from them, because they've done things, and again, unconventional occupations. All right. So hey, I'm proud of all of you, for real.
Thank you.
Now let's talk. No, I can't do it. I said I wasn't going to do it this week, so I'm gonna be nice this week. Okay.
Nice, Greg.
It's 4 women up here, and it's just one guy. But I'm gonna let it go. Hey, everybody, tell Ludine hello.
Hey, Ludine.
Hello.
So, Tanya, Donalyn, you sit tight for a second. Tanya, so as you navigated your waters, okay, I know you got a lot of no's. I mean, in the occupation that you're in, a lot of, you go to these screen tests or whatever you call them, readings, and people say, well, nah, you didn't make the cut this time. Okay. How does that make you feel if that has happened?
I mean, there's always auditions you go to, and I don't have a lot of recent stories about being in an audition and being cut. I used to experience that when I was a dancer in New York, in particular, where you be in the room with 200 other dancers, and they'd make a first cut, and you'd make that. You get it. They whittle it down to say 50. And then you dance some more, and then they do a second cut, and they whittle it down to 10, and then the artist shows up. The recording artist shows up after the choreographer has whittled it down, and the recording artist looks at you, hasn't seen you dance, and type-wise, they type you, meaning you're this type, you're blonde and blue-eyed, or you're chocolate and with curly hair, or you're this, and they start to compartmentalize people and separate them based on type. And sometimes it has nothing to do with your ability. You're just not the type they're looking for. Right. And you get cut at the end. And that happened to me many times in New York. I tried out for the Knicks dancers and got to the end, and they picked a girl that they knew and by name. And I was like, why don't you just take her in the first place? So I didn't have to sweat. So little things like that would happen all the time, but I'm not the kind of person. I've never been a quitter in anything, and I know I've always been an achiever. Actually, I consider myself an achiever, and so I'm like, well, that's not my job. So I would just go to the next job. I would be annoyed for 2 seconds, but then I would go to the next job, and I've worked a lot. I've worked my whole life. I work all the time. And I understand that in the business, they're just elements that you can't control. You can't control if the director wants someone who reminds him of his mother and you don't. Right. You can't control that. Right. You can't control, the leading guy is Kevin Hart's height, and you're 2 inches taller than he is. They like, we need somebody that's shorter than Kevin for this part. So, little things like that, what I've learned, we say this all the time to new actors, is the reason you don't get the part is because you're too tall. No, It's because you're too short. No, it's because you're too black. No, it's because you're not black enough. No, it's because you're a woman. No, it's because you're a man. No, because you're too, it's just, you just have to be very, very solid in who you are and what you bring to the table, and work as much on your craft and being excellent at it as you can. And that is what ends up being the formula for your success. I can't control, to a certain extent, what I look like. I could cut my hair or wear a wig or whatever, but I can't formulate myself to people's sensibilities. I have to be very authentic in who I am and bring that to the table. And that's why I book jobs. Because I work with this voice that I've had since I was 12 that people would make fun of me for back in the day, because it's such an alto voice. But it's also my calling card, and people recognize it. So
it's almost deeper than mine.
Exactly. And it runs in the family, which is odd. So it runs in the family. But I just think it's really, there's going to be challenges every step of the way. And you are introduced to those challenges to show yourself and the world who you really are. So it's like, if you become solid in what you're bringing, you work on yourself, you work on your craft, you work on the things that make you unique, bring those to the front, bring that uniqueness out, then that's the winning formula as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely. So Donalyn, let me ask you, because you're on the waves, okay? But and I've seen this firsthand. You're a woman in basically in a man's world, okay? And I've seen how the as your stature grows, how the guys, and I'm not naming any names, even though normally I would name names.
I know.
I'm not going to name names. I've seen how the guys have tried to push you back. Okay. And me as a manager, I've had to really, get in there, but you get to a point where you're able to stand on your own. Okay. I mean, how difficult was that? Did that make you feel? How bad did that make you feel? How difficult was it for you to endure those trials?
Well, once you've put in the work and you know that you can do the job as well as any man, you feel like you need your time. I have been booked for shows, and Greg used to be my manager, and we used to tour and travel. And I've had men just come on stage and snatch the microphone out of my hand because they thought they could because I was a woman. Mm-hmm. And what? Why would you do that? But I had Greg as a manager. Greg had to jump out the audience on stage. I mean, it used to be ugly. Man, why you take the mic? I mean, it was just I went through all of that. So now, since I flipped the script and I'm the president and CEO of the Biz World Media Studios in Indianapolis, I got a network that I run. I get the respect now. I get the respect now because you can't go around me. There's no way. I dominate the independent music charts, the #1 radio personality in the world. I travel all over everywhere doing stuff now, and you can't say nothing to me anymore. So that's why when you get to a certain level, it's not that you cut people off, you just keep them where they need to be. You don't have to acknowledge them or anything. You don't acknowledge them. When I started my ownership process, all the people just like left. And then they sit back in the cut with the side eye. Like, Tanya said, it's only so much you can do. It's only so much that I can do. But once I get to the top and I got it, you're going to have to give it to me. I'm sorry, I ain't going nowhere. Because, it's mine now. It's mine.
One thing I used to tell you, Darlene.
A lot of successful...
Don't let nobody drive your car.
A lot of successful entrepreneurs have learned that they got their own because of that. They ran into those hurdles and they ran into those roadblocks where they were getting the door shut in their face. So they bought the industry.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that because I in my process that I'm going through now, we had to present to a group of individuals, and the head of one of the teams is a female. And we kind of talked about who would do the presenting, this, that, and the other. And we got to a point in the conversation, and I apologized to her before I said what I'm getting ready to say. And she corrected me that I have sat in this room many a days, and men commonly degrade me. Mm-hmm. My husband and I sat not long ago with somebody trying to get us to expand our brand in their location. Now, the business, I had this business before I even met my husband. It's my business. Right. But we're in the room, and I have a male counterpart with me. May it be my husband, may it be my father, may it be my banker, whomever. And the question is poised to the table that I need to respond. The worst thing you can do at this point in my life is disrespect me and turn to the man to direct the answer or the question.
Yep.
I at this table for a reason. I built this table. This is my table. And if you can't respect that this is the table that I created,
you can say it. Go ahead.
Right.
And Donald, when you say that, I mean, the energy's welling up because you just get sick and tired of being sick and tired of having that same damn fight.
You do. I've been at events where I was booked to be the headliner. I mean, flying me all over, $2,500 to get me there. And when I get there with Greg as my manager, they start talking to him. And Greg would be like, "What you talking to me for?"
Right.
He would tell him, he said, "Man, you gotta talk to her." They would just overlook me just because it was a man in the room and go talk to the man. And Greg would check him every time. He's like, "Man, you gotta talk to her. You can't do that."
You know, Darlene, see, and here's the thing with that. You got to recognize, number one, with all of you, okay? Recognize your worth. know who you are, know what you are worth. Okay, and once you recognize your worth, nobody can ever take that worth away from you. All right, so I would always, with the events that Donna Lynn had, I would always, and she'll tell you, I'm the quietest person, and nobody believes how quiet I am. I'm quiet. I'm sitting back. My hands are by my side, wrapped up, and as they come to me, I don't even say, Donna, you gave me too much credit. I don't say nothing. I'd be like,
talk to her. They wouldn't even give me what I earned. And once Greg moved on to do his TV series and he left me, I gotta say he left me with the knowledge to be able to move forward, to be able to stand up on myself. It's good when you got that one person that's in your ear, because a lot of things that happen now, I could hear Greg in my head saying, you better not let them walk over you. You better. I can hear him in the back of my head all the time. And I would be backstage literally almost crying. He was like, really?
Yeah.
It would just be bad. I mean, being an entrepreneur ain't easy. And once you start getting paid and you go out and buy all the wonderful things that you deserve, yep, I'm flossing. Because I earned it. Yep.
Let's welcome Chris Mills to the show.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, what's up? Hey.
And
how's everyone doing?
Let me put this up here. Nicole, long time listener, she says she wished women her age would get on there and hear this and see it's wonderful. She hates seeing half-naked females on there every day. Some of the things she sees are in her generation is really sad, and it really is. She loves to get down on herself, but not to the point of disrespecting herself or showing her daughter and things. She wants to show her great things in life to get to. So we appreciate that, Nicole.
That's interesting, because as we were talking, I was thinking that I haven't always been here. I haven't always been at this mental level that I am, and they don't just happen; they happen just like. And I always talk about the diet that's going through the crushing and the depression and all of that. So my first thing is to tell her to keep pushing.
Yeah.
Be the change that you would like to see, because her light is going to shine so bright that it's going to impact those people that she's concerned about. Right. So be that change that you want your generation to be, and let your story. Know your worth, like Greg says. Know your worth. At the same time, set your boundaries. And it's okay to say, I don't know. And find people that do. And then, look in your phone. Who are the people that you talk to? You go down your phone log. See who you talk to. I laugh because now I wake. One of the first things I do in the morning is I actually go through my Facebook feed. And it's so much positivity and so much affirmations and great things that I know that I'm walking in the right line, because if I wouldn't, then I know that my mental would not be where it is today, because it hasn't always been here. As a Black woman, as a Black woman entrepreneur, as a woman from Gary, living in Gary, attempting to do the things that I have attempted to do. It ain't easy. But once you got that vision and you know your worth, and more importantly, you know your source. And I mean, we all see things that need to change. And the whole thing of it is to keep talking about it. But I'm of the mind, let's be about it, because we're on a limited time. Time is ticking. Right. And you're gone from here. What will they say about you? It's not about what you say, it's about how you make people feel and the changes that you make. What will they say about you?
What have you left?
And they're giving your eulogy. What they gonna say about you?
Right.
Do you care?
Yeah.
Chris, you see what we got here, right?
I see it.
Yeah, this is beautiful, man. This is amazing.
I see it. I mean, I know. I said I was gonna be late. I said I think I was late on the wrong day.
Yeah, man. So, this is wonderful because number one, these are strong Black women. All right, and to get strong Black women together in a forum like this to talk about their successes, to talk about their the things that they've gone through to get to where they're at now. It's amazing to hear these stories, because we as men, we always try to place ourselves way up here and this and that, okay? But we don't take the time to listen to powerful women. And these women, they're powerful, yet they're not braggadocious about it, okay? All they're doing is telling their stories. And as they tell those stories, you all inspire. You all make other women want to aspire to be like you, to take unconventional occupations and make it their own. Okay, I applaud you. I'm so happy right now. I just can't get up and dance right now because I don't have anything going underneath.
Oh Lord!
What?
I come in at 7:45. I guess.
No, I'm not.
I can went on the way.
I'm not doing it. I told y'all. But Dinah Lynn, just so y'all know, on this show at 7:45. It becomes after dark. Okay, so ain't no telling what's gonna be said, all right? But we're gonna keep hey, Dinah Lynn. It's ugly. It's ugly.
Well, I was listening yesterday, and I believe the lady at the top in the white shirt, I can't see her name, I don't have my glasses on. Gina. I was listening to her story, how now they're making this big deal out of shipping food and shipping items to people. And that's something she's been doing for years. She's had the business of putting together and shipping orders, and now it's a big deal, quote unquote. But it's something that she's owned and that she's been doing. So when you're doing something and you see, oh, now it wants to get popular, you're ahead of the game. You created this game and you got good. And I heard you said you had so many different pantries and things you were shipping for years. I was really inspired listening the other day when I scrolled through that, because it's a lot of stories like that. It's a lot of us women that's been doing this stuff for years. People just don't know it. They just don't know it because it's second nature to you to help the communities and to help people. And the things I heard you saying, it was very inspiring. People listen.
You all are innovators. That's what you call you, innovators.
Yeah, she's an innovator.
I think a lot of us can agree, a lot of us on this panel can agree that there's probably, and Tanya talked about it, growing up watching late night shows, but there should be something in your life that sparks what you end up doing. I went through a rough time in my first marriage, almost lost my house. And that was something that kicked off of me that I will never be at the point where I feel I'm about to be homeless.
Right.
Buying property. In real estate now, I buy houses. And I make sure that there are families that have a roof over their head. But if I ever need a place to go, I got several places to go. So that's right. That happened in my life that sparked in me that I'm going to make sure I'm never homeless or close to being homeless. So I think that with all of us, there's something in our life that sparked us to move us in the direction that we went in.
Yeah. See, here's the thing too. When you've done, because I've been homeless, so I can speak on that one. Okay, but the thing that got me through was faith. God is not going to take us through so much that we cannot bear. All right. So after you've done everything that you can do, stand up, rise, get up, feel good. I'm about to stand up. But
you gotta feel good about what's yours. You gotta feel good about it, because how you feel about what's yours, it shines into your customers, your clients, whatever it is you're doing. You gotta feel good about it. You gotta be hyped up. She has a restaurant. I heard her talking about. She's like, "This is mine." Let's go. Let's get it. We get ready to turn up. So even the beautiful actress lady up there, Tanya, at the top. Here I am. What you booking today? Short, tall, black. What? Where am I fitting in at? You got to feel good about where you are and what it is that you're doing, because that shines. People see it. And I'm not talking about people, I'm talking about the people that can get you paid. It shows.
And you got to understand with these entrepreneurs, these women up here, and Chris and I still haven't told our stories. Okay.
I told you we're not gonna forget it's a Friday. I told you.
But Jocelyn, she's on here yesterday. she was ill. She couldn't stay on. Okay. Gina, she had COVID. All right. Donna is recovering from a bad car accident. Okay. Tanya, she just fine. She good. She all right.
No tragedies. No tragedies.
No tragedies.
Well, it's been I'm just like for everybody. I'm assuming it's been a tough year. I lost my father lost 2 of his siblings within 3 days this year.
Oh, wow.
And just the generation that raised me is passing, and that was there's just a harsh reality and just levels of acceptance that I've had to have this year that I never really had to have in terms of that and that transitioning from one generation to the next, and just the reality of life and the limited time that we have here and what to do with that time. And so for me, it's about, the authenticity and following that thing that drives you, that really drives you, and not being afraid to make that your everyday is super important. I don't know why I'm out, but thank you, Nicole. But yeah, it's been an interesting year. It's been a great year, but it's been a year of a lot of challenges. So, I think with all of us, I think that's life, and those are those lessons that we learn and we evolve from, and that help our evolution ultimately.
So. Yeah, the important thing is that I want listeners to really take away is that you guys are human. You've struggled. You've scratched and clawed your way through something that and you're doing something that you love. And to love what you're doing, whether you're making a gang of money or not, to love what you're doing, I mean, that's fulfilling to me. You know what I mean?
Hey, Greg, the interesting and the most beautiful part about that is I have a lot of people ask me, well, when did you know? Now, I struggled from the time that I even before I went to college, because the first degree that my major, I should say, when I went away to school was biochemistry, because I allowed somebody to tell me, "Oh, you're good at math and you're good at science." And so at that point in time, we didn't have Google, so I had to go and research what a biochemist made. And I saw them coming out of school making 6 figures, and I was like, I'm gonna be a biochemist. Biochemist kicked my ass. And they didn't have a business degree at Spelman, so I ended up studying economics. And let me just tell you something. For those who don't know, folks in the back, economics is the study of money, how people spend money, how money affects our thinking. As a business owner, that was the most beneficial thing that I could have ever done. Things don't just happen, they happen justly. But that was the beginning of the story. The in-between of the story was, what do I want to do? Again, I'm chasing dreams that everybody else put on me. I'm in banking. Right. Be a banking manager. Did it. Okay, I've done it. Now what? Be a VP. Okay. He was a VP. Okay, now what? The people start putting caps on me. You can't talk like this. You can't dress like that. You gotta be here. But I finished all my work. Why do I have to sit here? Because you said that I can't leave work till 5 o'clock. I've done everything that you've asked, and it's 2 o'clock. So I learned early on, I'm task oriented. So therefore, don't put my value based on time, because I work more efficient than everybody else. Right. And the worst depression I ever had was working for this particular bank. And I'll never forget this. We sat in a meeting, and one of the senior managers said, I need you to go to EAP because something ain't right. You should be more excited. What? And they were right. I was not where I needed to be. And it's something about when you're searching for something outside of yourself, when you're chasing something outside of yourself, or you're looking to define yourself by dollar signs, all those chasing. And when you chase things, guess what? They run.
Yeah.
But you settle yourself, and like you said, find your worth, find your joy, find your passion. Oprah said it best. Do what you love and the money will come. But more importantly, it's less likely to seem like work. And then another layer has been added the older that I get. Know your why. Why are you doing what you do? Donna, why do you do? Why do you show up to do what you do every day? Tell you what is it that makes you want to be an actress. My dog is trying to get in on the action. Sorry. But the bottom line is once you know your why, as the shit hits the fan, you're not focused on the shit because you know your purpose. So you're in purpose on purpose.
Jocelyn, you know what?
It took me forever to get to, and I thank God that I'm finally there.
You know what, Jocelyn?
Yes.
I need to tell you this. Things don't just happen.
You're upside out.
They happen justly. So, Tiny, while you got up, I was just going to talk to you.
She ran away.
So, Dinah Lynn.
Yes.
In parting, as we get ready to end this discussion, young women, even young men, a lesson from just to summarize the lesson that you can give to somebody if they're trying to do what you're doing.
I think one of my most important lessons in my journey in business and life, period, is how much are you going to do for free? How much are you going to let your friends and family dictate to you how much you going to do for free? Drop the mic, Jocelyn. How much we going to do for free? Because I got out here and got what I got because Tanya's on Law and Order, you cooking up food, she's writing books and doing her thing. How come I got to give it away? How do you define how much? You got to draw the line in the dirt. You have to do it. That's my biggest lesson.
You're too expensive.
Yeah.
No, I said that on purpose. What's your response?
Is JCPenney too expensive? Did you tell that to the grocery
Everybody ain't
store?
Yeah. Everybody ain't your customer.
Everybody ain't my customer. You're right. You're absolutely
right.
Well,
I mean, I think that also marks the difference between someone who's a professional and not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because a professional does this for a living. So when one of my hashtags that I use a lot is working actress. And that means that I get paid. My business is the service of my acting work. You can use my face, you can use my voice for your product or whatever the case may be. It's on camera, it's in the voiceover booth, whatever it is, but that's a service that I provide and I get paid for that. And that's the difference between being a pro and an amateur, if you ask me, or a volunteer. So,
and if you lose a friend or family,
what you do, you're going to get paid for that, and you're going to set the price. And
a friend or a family will pay you if they really in your corner. I have people that I was like, I want to give you this free. They're like, I watch you build it. I'm gonna pay you.
Yeah, and that's what you run into. You start to run into people who insist upon paying you.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
because they know that this is what you do. This is what you do for a living. This is.
But not only that, it's not just what you do; it's the level of which you deliver it. We're not just gonna pay. Just there's nobody on this going out. There is somebody. I think it was Dinah Lynn. If you know your value, then if I know my value, then I'm going to demand it, but I'm also treating the rest of the world how I expect you to treat me.
Exactly.
So I know my
yeah, I run into that quite a lot. Well, this other radio personality, he only charged $200. I said, well, you call me. You get what you pay for, go ahead and call him, and then they call back every time. Every time. Well, yeah, that's what I thought. Don't talk to me about what nobody else would charge you. You call me.
Right.
So just know how much you want to give away free. And that,
that was
the hardest.
In these occupations that we hold, if we don't work, we don't eat. You know what I'm saying? So it's it's a thing where I don't think other people who are in these conventional occupations, they don't understand that this, we love it. So it's easy. The stuff that I do, I can do it sleep. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing it for years. I can sleep. Okay. But we do it because we love it. So it's effortless for us. Yeah, there's some effort to it, but for us, it's the love of what we're doing and what we dreamed ourselves to do. But other people don't understand that. So I've had people to say, you know, when I do films or anything like that, they've been like, well, I say, well, it costs $3,000 just for me to pick up a camera. Okay.
Right.
So I tell them, and it's like, well, hey man, you know, we've been boys for a long time. Okay. $29.99 then. Okay. I'm gonna give you that dollar discount. All right. But I'm still going, you still gotta pay me. And that $2,000 is my discounted price for friends.
Yeah. I have situations though where it doesn't happen often, but it's situations that it's more about helping the person because I'm not hurting for money. So it's more about helping the person get where they're trying to get to without having the funds and resources to get where they need to get to. Like I'm an open book encyclopedia. Information I give to people I can charge for, and I just give it to them just to see what they're doing.
Yeah,
sometimes it's that way.
But the thing is, Chris, you decide.
You decide. That's right.
Yes. I don't let them decide for me.
Absolutely.
Some of my biggest arguments with Greg Gray was about this very thing. And people used to call and say, man, Greg crazy. He charged me all the money. I said, Greg, well, why are you charging me? Lynn, don't talk to me about what I do for a living, about money. You know, he really made me get to understand that. And then here I go giving everything away for free. You know, early on, I was like, well, he would be doing the two-step in the middle of the floor. Girl, you can't. I mean, he used to be really mad. And then now I get it. Once I drew the line in the dirt and started doing what was valuable to me and giving them a valuable product, then now people don't even ask anymore. If they serious people,
because I'm like, look, do not. If they said, well, Donna, can you do $500? And she would say, yeah, I could do it because they were her friend. I'm like, no, she can't do it. No, that's not going to happen. That ain't going to happen.
No, you know, the reason that he did that is because if you devalue yourself, they're gonna go tell the next person, well, I only paid $500. And if you charge them more than that, you're gonna lose trust. Yeah. No. I mean, that's true. You know what I'm saying, in the beginning stages, but sometimes you have those few. Like to me, when it comes to giving away information, if you don't have a business plan ready when you approach me, that's how you get free information. Because I know you sat down, studied, you wrote out what you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? And you have steps to do from the information that I give you.
But I'm not going to do the work for you. I'll give you. I can lay it down. But I'm not giving you the work.
I'm not even going to lay it down. I've passed that stage.
You passed that stage
down for me. And get in the game. And going back,
you have to come with me. Come to me with it already.
I had a customer come in last week, matter of fact, and he was like, well, I'm always in here, and I think you need to give me a discount. And I stopped and I said, well, let me think about this. I said, well, if I give you a discount, then I need to ask my employees for them to give me a discount when I pay them. And I said, my landlord, I know for damn sure he ain't gonna give me no discount. And I said, oh, NIPSCO, wait, hold up. They ain't gonna give me no discount. I said, then there's Uncle Sam. I said, if I'm not Trump, I ain't getting no discount.
But you're his niece. You're his niece. That's your uncle.
But the point of it is, I tell, like, even I've had employees say, well, can I get this? No. Because when it's time for me to pay you, you want your full pay.
Right.
So how is it that I'm supposed to discount what we're doing? It's priced at a certain level for a reason.
Yeah. Well, Johnson, let me run this back. Let me run this by you because this is what I used to do. This is what I used to do. The people that ask me for a discount, I give you a discount code. If you get these amount of people to come in, you get a discount on your next.
We have that. We have a loyalty program. I'm not Taiwan.
I got a loyalty program.
I got a loyalty program. I do on Tuesday. I'm getting ready to feed how many people are coming this Thursday? That's the furthest thing. You know, I'm all about give. But I can only give from my overflow.
Exactly. Right.
And so therefore, I'm not going to allow anybody to put me in a position where I got to go in my cup. And now I make sure that what needs to be taken care of is taken care of. Every time my baby left here, my commitment to myself and to God is I want to be a good steward. Everything that's blessed to me, I want to be a responsible and good steward. And the way that happens is I cannot go in the cup. I have to serve from the old.
Right.
I'm obedient to God, doing what He asked me to do, how He asked me to do it. Then I'm going to always have that overflow.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's true.
So look, y'all. The takeaway from today was that number one, y'all some powerful ass women. Okay. And I would admonish every guy out there, when you got your little king's crown on and you walking around all proud and you say, hey girl, you telling your girl, hey, walk 3 steps behind me, because I want to be that dude. Okay. Me personally, and Donalyn, you heard me say this before, I would rather let that woman walk ahead of me for 2 reasons. Number one, she's a better thinker than I am. She's a much better thinker than I am. I'm just saying for me, Chris. And number 2, it's a better view if you're walking in front of me.
Right.
It's a better.
And you like to fight, see? That's why you in the walk behind. You like.
But see, that's one of the reasons. I mean, I agree with Greg. That's one of the reasons I don't understand why men don't open doors. I don't understand it.
Hey, Louie.
I open doors, car doors, other doors. I open all the doors. Hey, what's up, Ludine? She comes on after we get ready to get off, but I understand.
Hey, Ludine, I thought I was late.
I was driving.
She early for the mall, dude. She early for the mall.
No, she early for tomorrow's episode. Okay.
So look,
This is good.
I appreciate you coming on. Okay, thank you for inspiring women. Okay, Jocelyn, of course, always my sister. Thank you for inspiring women. Gina, thank you for inspiring women. Tanya, thank you for inspiring women. Ludine, thank you for inspiring women as well. Okay, Chris, we're gonna tell our story Friday. Now, everybody, we do an after party, which is, and I'm letting Tanya and Donalyn know, we do an after party. So when we get off the air,
I'm going to be it.
You don't have to go. We talk and we talk. Okay.
Y'all let loose, huh?
We let loose. But this week I'm being changed to my 7:45 thing. Final comment. Nicole says, I want to be something that you guys want to grow up. She's only 30 with disability. She's always putting herself down, thinking she can't do it. She got to believe, like her mom tells her. She says, God bless you, ladies, except to all of you.
Thank you, Nicole.
Did Nicole ever reach out to you, Ludine?
She will when she's ready, or reach out to someone. She'll reach out to someone.
She said earlier, I think she said it either yesterday or today, I just didn't put it up there. She said she's going to. She's never. But Nicole, I invite you to reach out to any one of these women if they're on Facebook, inbox them. All right. Get some inspiration from them and let them encourage you, and so that you can continue to at least try to make your way. I want to see you on here today talking about the same thing that these ladies are talking about. So look, everybody, that's Gina Gatson right there, author. That is Tanya Alexander. She is an actress. Okay, Donalyn Biggs, radio personality, radio station owner. Ludine, she do it all. And Jocelyn, she's a actor. She is a spiritual guru. This is Dope Living TV. I'm sorry, Chris Mills. He does everything.
I don't do nothing. I'm just here to surprise you.
I just want to know when I became a spiritual guru. Do I got?
I said it before. I should have said, hey, check this out, Gina. Jocelyn, she's a restaurateur and a spiritual doula.
Sorry.
That's an inside joke.
That's funny.
Inside joke. She said,
you got me Googling what is a doula.
Right.
You missed that, didn't you?
You missed that episode.
You know what? You got to do the best of. You've got to do the best of Dope Living and run it.
I'm gonna do the best of Dope Living, and y'all notice I don't even promote myself, but on Dope Living TV, y'all gotta go and subscribe. Dope Living TV, www.dopelivingtv.com. Subscribe. Use the code. I don't give a damn. Okay. Look, this is Greg, Dope Living TV. We will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate you guys. Y'all stay on, ladies. Don't go no. Who just clicked off? Jocelyn.
Jocelyn got to go. She said she got to.